Dear friends, myself Alpesh Mahiyavanshi, lecturer in Electrical Engineering Department, Government Polytechnic, Dahod. Today we discuss about the topic types of DC motor and its application in the subject of DC machines and transformer. So today's outline is electric motor definition, classification of electric motor, introduction of DC motor, types of DC motor, in which we are going to discuss about DC series motor, DC shunt motor, DC compound motor, and application of all these three. This is the outline of today's. Now first of all, we define what is electric motor. So definition of electric motor is the electromechanical machine which converts the electrical energy into mechanical energy. In other words, we can say that the devices which produce rotational force is also known as the electric motor. The working principle of electric motor is mainly depends on the interaction of magnetic and electric field. So classification of electric motor. Electric motor is mainly of two types, that is AC motor and DC motor. In AC motor it is linear induction motor, synchronous motor as well as induction motor, whereas on DC side DC motor is classified into two categories, that is self-excited DC motor and separately excited DC motor. In AC side synchronous motor is classified into reluctance and hysteresis motor, and in induction motor it is classified into single phase induction motor and three phase induction motor. Now on self-excited and separately excited, self-excited DC motor is classified into series, shunt and compound motor is further classified into short shunt and long shunt compound. Okay, now if we discuss the DC motor, so the definition, first of all, the definition of the DC motor: a machine that converts the DC electric power into mechanical power is known as the DC motor. So the supply given to the motor, that is the DC, and this motor is taking DC power and it converts the mechanical power. So it's that's why it is known as the DC motor. The basic principle is its work depends on the basic principle that when a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, then a force exerted on it and torque develops. So whenever a current carrying conductor is placed in a magnetic field, it experiences a force. On this principle, basic principle, the DC motor operates. So now the types of DC motor. First of all, the separately excited DC motor. Okay, so this is the basic circuit of the separately excited DC motor, in which this is the armature and this is the field winding of the DC motor. So how can we define the separately excited DC motor? So we can say that separately excited, the name is separately excited DC motor, that means the excitation given to the DC motor is to the separate source, or we can say that the separate source is given to the DC motor. That's why it is known as the separately excited DC motor. Okay, so here the circuit is there, it is not connected with the armature, it is separately connected to the DC supply. That's why it is known as the separately excited DC motor. And self-excited DC motor. Okay, so in self-excited DC motor, field winding is excited by motor itself, no external source is required. The EMF generated in armature is given to the field winding. So EMF generated, that means the current is supplied to the field winding through the armature. It is mainly of three types, that is DC shunt motor, DC series motor and DC compound motor. So first is the DC shunt motor. This is the basic circuit of the DC shunt motor, in which this field winding is known as the shunt field winding. This is the armature of the DC motor, and here supply is given to the motor. Okay, so how can we define the DC shunt motor? DC, that means the supply given to this motor is the DC, that's why the DC. Now the shunt, that means the field winding is connected in parallel with the armature winding, so it is the shunt. So this field winding is known as the shunt field winding. It is connected in parallel with the armature winding. Okay, this field winding, how this field winding consists? So field winding has thin conductor. That means the cross-sectional area of this field winding is lesser and the number of turns in this field winding is more. So as we see this circuit diagram, we can say that the number of turns are more. So what happens? The field current is low as the resistance is more. Here what happens? The cross sectional area, thinner conductors are used. So the cross sectional of the field winding conductor, that is less. So cross sectional area is less. So what is the resistance of the field winding? That is known as the RSH. So RSH is equal to rho L by A. So here A is the cross sectional area of the conductor. So A is less, cross sectional area is less. That means the resistance of this field winding is more. So this field winding has more resistance. Okay, so field winding has more resistance, then that means the current flowing through this field winding is lesser. So that's why here written is field current is low as resistance is more. Now if we see this circuit diagram, what happens? Supply is given to this motor, this is shunt motor. So what happens? Line current is flowing, that is indicated by the IL. Now at this point what happens? At this point this total or the line current is divided into two parts. Okay, one is going through the armature and second is going through the field winding. Okay, so from this circuit diagram we can write the equation, current equation, that is IL. This IL is divided into two parts. So this IL is equal to IA plus ISH. Okay, so this is the current equation of the motor. Now here the ISH, that means as the current is flowing through this field winding, what happens? This field winding is wound on the magnetic pole. So whenever current is flowing through this field winding, current is flowing through field winding, so magnet is magnetized and magnetic field is produced. This field produced by this winding is known as the shunt field flux. Okay, so the shunt field flux phi SH, that depends on the shunt field current. So whatever magnitude of flux, that depends on the shunt field current. Okay, so now in DC shunt motor what happens? The equation of speed is N proportional to EB over phi. So speed depends on back EMF and flux. So N proportional to EB over phi, or in other words we can say that speed is directly proportional to back EMF and inversely proportional to flux. Now the back EMF equation is EB is equal to V minus IARA. So here what happens? As the load increases, if we look at this circuit, what happens? As the load increases, what happens? The current increases according to this formula. Okay, so as the current increases, load increases, but RA is very small. So in this equation RA is very small. So hence what happens? The reduction in EB is less, which is negligible according to this formula. Okay, so what happens? Phi remains constant. Here EB is negligible, so whatever reduction in occur in this EB, that is negligible. So we can say that EB remains constant. So phi is also remains constant. So the speed remains constant. So DC shunt motor is also known as the constant speed, constant flux motor, because EB remains same, phi remains same, so speed remains constant. So DC shunt motor is known as the constant speed, constant flux motor. Now next is the DC series motor. So look at this circuit diagram of DC series motor. Here is the one field winding. This field winding is connected in series with the armature. That's why this motor is known as the DC series motor. Okay. So how this field winding consists? So this field winding has thicker conductor and fewer number of turns, or we can say that the less number of turns. So thicker conductors, that means the cross sectional area of this conductor of field winding is more and number of turns are less. So what is the resistance of this series field winding? As the cross sectional area is more, so according to this formula RSC is equal to rho L by A. Cross sectional area is more, that means the resistance of series field winding is less, and resistance of series field winding is less, that means the current flowing through this field winding is more. Now look at this figure. From this figure we can say that this series field winding and armature winding both are connected in series. So as soon as the supply is given, the line current is flowing through the field winding as well as armature winding. So the both are connected in series, that means the same line current is flowing. So we can write the current formula, that is IL is equal to ISC is equal to IA. So armature current and series field current both are same in this DC series motor. Okay, so ISC is equal to IA. Now speed is n proportional to EB over phi. Same, EB is equal to V minus IA. Alright. Now phi depends on ISC and ISC depends on IA. How? This series field winding is wound on the magnetic pole. So as soon as the current is flowing through this series field winding, magnetic pole is magnetized and magnetic flux or magnetic field is produced. So we can say that whatever flux produced by this series field, that depends on ISC. Now ISC and IA is same, so we can say that what happens, ISC is equal to IA. Okay, and as the load varies, we can say that IA is equal to ISC also varies. Okay, so flux does not remain constant. Okay, as the load increases, what happens, ISC and IA both are varies, whether it will increase or decrease according to the load. Okay, so what happens, the flux produced by this is also varies. So we can say that the flux produced by the series field does not remain constant. Now when load is not connected, okay, we just assume that the load is not connected to the motor. Okay, so here what happens, the armature current IA is very low. Okay, hence ISC is equal to IA is very low as the load is not connected. So flux phi is very low. Phi is very low as well as IA is very low. So what happens, IA is very low, that means RA is very low. That means EB is taken as a constant. Okay, it will not decrease. We neglect the decrement in this EB. Likewise, here the flux is also remains constant. Okay, so and what happens, phi becomes very low. So according to this equation, EB is constant, phi is low, that means the speed becomes dangerously high. So when DC series motor is connected without, or we are operating DC series motor without load, at that time what happens, the speed becomes dangerously high. Okay, so we can say that DC series motor is never operated without any load. Now next is the DC compound motor. Okay, now it has two field winding. Okay, one field winding, that is the shunt field winding, which is connected in parallel with the armature winding, that is the DC shunt motor. Now second field winding, that is series field winding. This series field winding is connected in series with the armature winding, so this is the series motor. Okay, so DC compound motor is the combination of the series motor as well as the shunt motor. Okay, previously we discussed that shunt field winding has thin conductor and more turns. Series field winding has thick conductor and less turn. Shunt field winding has more resistance and series field winding has lesser resistance. Okay, now as per the connection of series and shunt field winding, compound motor is classified into two. Okay, as we discussed that the compound motor is a combination of the series motor as well as the shunt motor. Okay, so according to the connection of this field winding, the compound motor is classified into two categories, that is cumulatively compound motor and a differentially compound motor. Okay, and further it is classified according to the connection, that is the long shunt compound motor and the short shunt compound motor. So this is the classification of DC compound motor: cumulatively compound motor, differentially compound motor, long shunt compound motor and short shunt compound motor. Okay, now the long shunt compound motor, this is the circuit diagram of long shunt compound motor. That means shunt field winding is connected across the series combination of armature and series field winding. Okay, this is the armature and this is the series field winding. Both are connected in series. Now the field winding, shunt field winding, that is connected across the combination of these two. So this is the series combination and this shunt field winding is connected across the whole series combination of these two. That's why it is known as the long shunt DC compound motor. Okay, in this motor the current equation is IL. This is the total load current. Now this IL current is divided into two parts. That one current is flowing through the shunt field winding and second current is flowing through the series field winding as well as armature winding. So here ISC is equal to IA because both are connected in series. So we can write that the load current or the total current IL is equal to ISC. voltage given to the motor. Okay, so V is equal to EB, that is back EMF generated in the armature, plus IA into RA plus RSC. Why we can take IA into RA plus RSC? Because ISC and IA both are same. Why both are same? Because both are connected in series. That's why we can write that ISE is equal to IS. So the voltage equation becomes V is equal to EB plus IA into RA plus RSC. Okay. Now second is the short shunt DC compound motor. Okay. If we previously see the circuit of the long shunt, so this shunt field winding is connected across the series combination of these two. Whereas in short shunt, what happens? The shunt field winding. Okay, in short shunt DC compound motor, the field winding, what happens here? Field winding is connected in parallel with the armature winding. It is not connected in parallel with the series combination of series field winding and armature winding. Okay, so in long shunt, what happens? The shunt field winding is connected in parallel with the series field winding as well as the armature winding. Okay, whereas in short shunt, this is the difference between these two. Okay, so the current equation becomes, this is the total circuit current. So this total current is also flowing through the field winding. So we can say that the total current IL is equal to ISC. Now it is divided into two parts. One current is going to the shunt field and second current is going to the armature. Okay, so we can write the current equation IL is equal to IA plus ISH, or we can say that IL is equal to ISC is equal to IA plus ISH. Now the voltage equation V is equal to EB plus IARA plus ISC RSC. How it becomes? This is the supply voltage given to the motor. Now EB, that is the back EMF. So EB plus IARA plus ISC RSC. So this is the voltage equation of the short shunt compound motor. Now cumulatively compound motor, what happens? In compound motor we have a two winding, shunt field winding and series field winding. Okay, so shunt field winding produces the shunt field flux, series field winding produces the series field flux. So when shunt field flux helps the series field flux, at that time the motor is known as the cumulatively compound motor. Okay, so as both are added, the total or resultant flux increases. So we can say that phi total is equal to phi SC plus phi SH. This is the series field flux, this is the shunt field flux. Okay, so total flux increases. Now if we want to control this total flux, what we have to do? We have to reduce this shunt field flux. Now how can we reduce the shunt field flux? By reducing the shunt field current or by reducing the field excitation given to the field winding. Now differentially compound motor, when shunt field flux produced by the shunt field winding opposes the main field flux, at that time we can say that the motor is the differentially compound motor. Okay, so the resultant flux is phi total is equal to phi SC minus phi SL. Okay, so this is the differentially compound motor. Now the applications of different types of DC motor. First is DC shunt motor. The feature of the DC shunt motor is speed is nearly constant. It is the constant speed motor and the starting torque is the medium. In which applications we are using DC shunt motor? That is blowers and fans, centrifugal and reciprocating pumps, lathe machines, machine tools, milling machines and drilling machines. Second is the DC series motor. It has a high starting torque and no load condition is dangerous. That means we cannot allow the no load condition, and the speed is the variable type, so we can vary the speed. Applications are cranes, hoists and elevators, trolleys, conveyors and electric locomotives. Next is cumulatively compound motor. Features are high starting torque and no load condition is allowed. In cumulatively compound we can allow the no load condition. Applications are rolling mills, punches, shears, heavy planers and elevators. Differentially compound motor. Features: speed increases as load increases. So applications, it is not suitable for any practical applications. Okay, so today we discuss about the different types of DC motors, in which we just define what is electric motor, classification of electric motor, brief introduction about DC motor, types of DC motor, in which we discuss about DC series motor, DC shunt motor, DC compound motor, and also we discuss about the applications of DC series motor, shunt motor, cumulative compound motor, and differentially compound motor. So up to this point, thank you very much.